In October 2016, I took on a seasonal job at Party City, a popular store known for its Halloween merchandise, which was especially hectic during the Halloween season. I was assigned to the night shift on weekdays due to my class schedule. This particular night was no exception, and our store was bustling with last-minute shoppers. My shift started at 5 p.m., and I knew I would be working late since the store had extended its closing hours to 11 p.m. for Halloween. During the earlier part of my shift, I was tasked with being a costume grabber. My job was to retrieve costumes and sizes as directed by customers through a walkie-talkie system. After the rush slowed down around 9 p.m., the store gradually emptied out. By 10 p.m., only a few of us were left working. Maria operated the cash register. Kyle was responsible for cleaning the aisles and restocking shelves. Ashley served as the night supervisor, and I was the one fetching costumes and helping with store upkeep. While performing some back-and-forth work in the basement, which was connected directly to the upstairs costume storage area, I took a brief 10-minute break before continuing with my tasks. However, I realized that someone had turned off the lights in the basement. I figured it was Ashley, so I flipped the lights back on and proceeded into the basement. As I was lifting a box of girls' costumes, I heard a noise coming from the other side of the basement. I approached with caution, curious about the source of the sound. What I discovered was an individual in a white hooded robe costume, complete with a scary monster mask. The initial shock caused me to step back. I presumed it was a coworker playing a Halloween-themed prank, and I responded, "You got me." However, the person in the costume didn't speak and merely tilted their head to the side, as if continuing the charade. My first thought was that this person might be Ashley since she sometimes took on supervisory duties. Still, I quickly realized that the figure was much taller than her. At this point, I suspected it was Kyle. I moved closer to remove the mask, but the masked intruder backed away from me. Then, I glanced down at the work boots, and my anxiety spiked. The intruder was wearing dirty, heavy boots, which Kyle certainly wasn't. A cold shiver ran down my spine and I retreated, leaving the basement and shut the door behind me. It was important not to give in to panic. I returned to Ashley to inquire about Kyle's whereabouts, thinking it was a prank. To my surprise, Kyle was answering from a nearby aisle, making it impossible for him to have been in the basement. It was at this moment that I felt a deep sense of unease. I asked Ashley if there were any other employees scheduled that night, and she confirmed that everyone had already gone home. This revelation heightened my anxiety. I explained to her what I had seen in the basement, and we decided to investigate together. We thought it was a coworker playing a prank, but we couldn't find anyone and the basement was empty. Ashley reviewed the security footage but didn't spot anyone else entering the costume room, except for me. Regrettably, there were no cameras in the basement or the costume storage room to confirm that part. We concluded that it must have been a Halloween prank. Despite my unease, I knew I had to return to the basement to complete my job. I picked up the box of girls' costumes I had originally intended to bring upstairs, reached the stairs, and stopped. It seemed like I heard a noise, the faint crumpling of a small plastic bag. I hesitated to investigate and decided to leave, as I was not prepared to face the situation alone. I knew I wasn't getting paid enough for such encounters, and my shift was nearly over. As I carried the box up the stairs, dropped it in the costumey room, and prepared to shut off the basement lights, I glanced down at the staircase and saw the person in the white robe costume once more. This time the mask was missing, and I could see their smiling face. I panicked, slamming the door shut, and rushed to get Ashley and my coworkers for help. However, by the time they arrived at the basement, the intruder had vanished and the doors were open. We reviewed the security footage, but it didn't capture the intruder exiting the back door. It was a perplexing situation that couldn't be easily explained. The lack of stolen items or any indication of a break-in only deepened the mystery. I had treated the incident as though my life were in danger, and to this day, I cannot be sure if it was merely a Halloween prank or something far more sinister.